Have you ever stood in a paint store, surrounded by thousands of colors, and wondered where it all began? Not with chemical formulas or complex machines, but deep in the past, with our earliest ancestors. Today, we're journeying back in time to the dawn of creativity, to uncover the secrets of the Stone Age palette. How did the world's first artists create color from a world of stone, dirt, and fire? This is the story of how humanity first learned to paint its world. Imagine a world without synthetic colors, where every hue had to be found, ground, and mixed by hand. This was the reality for Stone Age people. They were the original chemists, the first true artisans of color. Their primary source was the earth itself. They discovered that certain rocks and clays weren't just brown or gray. When ground into a fine powder, they revealed spectacular colors. The most important of these was ochre. This iron-rich clay gave them a vibrant spectrum of reds, yellows, and oranges. Think of it as the foundational color of the ancient world. You could find it in riverbeds, cliff faces, and exposed earth. By heating it at different temperatures, they could even change its color, turning yellow ochre into a deep blood red. It was a kind of primitive alchemy, a magical transformation that must have felt incredibly powerful. But red wasn't their only color. For black, they turned to the remnants of their fires. Charcoal, made from burnt wood, provided a deep, rich black that was perfect for outlining figures and adding depth. They also used manganese oxides, dark minerals found in the ground, to create an even more intense, permanent black. And for white, they used chalk or kaolin clay, a soft white mineral that provided a stark contrast to the darker pigments. Suddenly, with just red, yellow, black, and white, they had a palette capable of telling complex stories. They weren't just decorating. They were communicating across millennia. Now, having a pile of colored dust is one thing, but making it stick to a rough cave wall is another challenge entirely. This is where the ingenuity of our ancestors truly shines. They needed a binder, a liquid medium to turn the pigment powder into usable paint. What did they use? Whatever was available in their environment. They experimented with a range of natural binders. The most common was simply water, which created a basic, watercolor-like paint. But for more permanence, they needed something stickier. Animal fat was an excellent choice. After a hunt, they would render the fat and mix it with the pigment to create a thick, durable paint, almost like an early oil paint. This mixture would adhere beautifully to the porous limestone of the cave walls. Other binders included plant sap, egg whites, and even saliva. Yes, some archaeologists believe that artists would literally chew the pigment and spit it onto the wall, using their mouths as a primitive airbrush. This technique, called insufflation, allowed for soft edges and subtle shading, creating an incredibly sophisticated effect with the simplest of tools. They would use their hands and fingers to apply the paint, or craft simple brushes from animal hair, twigs, and feathers. Each tool and each binder was a testament to their resourcefulness. They were masters of their environment, using every part of it to fuel their creative expression. But why did they go to all this trouble? Why venture deep into dark, dangerous caves to paint animals on the walls? The answer is complex and deeply spiritual. These colors were not just decorative, they were symbolic. Red, the color of blood and fire, was universally associated with life, energy, and creation. When they painted a bison in red ochre, they weren't just drawing an animal. They were perhaps trying to capture its life force, to ensure a successful hunt, or to honor its spirit. Red was the color of vitality. Black, On the other hand, was the color of darkness, night, and the mysterious unknown. It represented the deep, hidden parts of the cave and, by extension, the spirit world. The figures outlined in black often have a powerful, mystical quality. They seem to emerge from the shadows, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realms. These paintings were not mere art for art's sake. They were rituals. The act of grinding the pigment, mixing the paint and applying it to the wall in the flickering torchlight was likely a ceremonial process, a way to connect with nature, with their community, and with the unseen forces they believed governed their world. These caves were their first cathedrals, and paint was the language of their faith. So, what does this ancient story have to do with us today? More than you might think. Take a look at the color trends in modern home design. We're constantly drawn to what we call earth tones, terracotta reds, mustard yellows, charcoal grays, and creamy whites. These colors feel comforting, grounded, and timeless. Why? Because they are, quite literally, the colors of our ancestors. They are the original palette of humanity, hardwired into our collective memory. That trendy Tuscan red accent wall in your living room. It's a direct descendant of the ochre pigments used 40,000 years ago in the caves of Lascaux and Altamira. That charcoal-colored bedroom designed to feel cozy and secure. It echoes the mysterious, spiritual blackness of a Stone Age sanctuary. The evolution of paint has been a long and incredible journey, from ground-up rocks to the complex chemical formulations we have today. But the fundamental impulse remains the same. When we choose a color for our walls, we're doing what our ancestors did. We are shaping our environment, expressing our emotions, and creating a space that feels like home. We are telling a story with color. Every brush stroke we make is an echo of those first artists, a continuation of a creative tradition that is tens of thousands of years old. The next time you pick up a paintbrush or admire a beautifully colored room, take a moment to think about its origins. Remember the Stone Age painters, working by the light of a flickering flame, grinding minerals and mixing them with fat and water. They gave us more than just images of bison and horses. They gave us the very concept of color as a form of human expression. They were the pioneers, the innovators, the first to discover that with a little bit of earth and a lot of imagination, you can change the world around you. The walls we paint today are a canvas connected by an unbroken thread to the very dawn of human creativity. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story of color as fascinating as I do, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the history of human ingenuity. Let me know in the comments what color you have on your walls and how it makes you feel. Until next time, stay curious,